Hi, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about machine knitting weights. Weights are very important for most machines other than pass-ups because they help the stitches knit off. Just to take a brief orientation, these two are two different varieties of claw weights. This is a weighted hanger. This is a wide weight that came with our lace carriage. These two over here are different sizes of ribber weights, and then we wanted to do a brief discussion about the famous fork weight, and we'll have another video to show you how to make the fork weight. This is a small claw weight. They're very common, relatively inexpensive. You'll notice that the prongs are a little bit close together. We think maybe this was designed for a standard gauge machine, but they come with all the mid-gauge machines also. We really don't care for them that much because the little prongs are so close that it often snags the yarn. But we've got many of them, and you can use them with hangers. So we'll show you that in a moment. This is also a small claw weight. The difference here is that you'll notice there's only two little prongs, and that will help to concentrate the weight in a very small area. So, for example, in certain areas where you're doing shaping, the area to be weighted may be very small, or we also like to use this when we're making I-cord. This small claw weight, like the previous one, is approximately 100 grams. This here is a weighted hanger. You can use this alone or with the small claw weight. You'll notice that the pins here are very narrow, very long. We really like these because they fit onto mid-gauge knitting much easier with less damage. And we'll take a moment to show you how this works with a claw weight. You would just hook this on there, and then if you imagine your knitting is hanging here, and the weighted hanger alone weighs approximately 122 grams. When used with the claw weight, it's roughly 222 grams. Now this is a weight that came with our lace carriage for the silver reed. We don't like this one as much as the previous weight hanger because the little pins are a little bit wider. We think it snags on the knitting a little bit more. Nevertheless, this is approximately 6 inches wide. It does give you even weight distribution across the work. We use them, but we really prefer the previous one. And this piece here is also 220 grams. Then we'll show you a non-weighted hanger. This is something that we got online. It has the narrow pins that we like, and it has spaces for either 2 claw weights or a small ribber weight. So if you imagine your knitting's hanging here, and in these rounded areas you can hang small ribber weights. So we like these because of the small little narrow pins and the fact that you can hang 2 weights, either the small claw weight or the small ribber weight. So now these 2 weights are ribber weights. They come with a ribber cast-on comb that has holes. So you hang these on the holes of the cast-on comb. Generally, we only use these with our ribber cast-on comb, but as in the previous example, if you have a small ribber weight like this and a hanger that can accommodate the hook, you can get double duty out of these smaller weights. The small weight is approximately 200 grams, and the larger weight is 540 grams. Typically, this is a lot of weight for a small area other than when you're using a rubber cast-on comb, which will help you distribute the weight across more area of the knitting. This is a rubber cast-on comb, and you'll notice that there are two holes here, and these holes are so that you can hang the rubber weights, either the small one or the large one. This area up here is where your knitting would be. It hangs down and provides an even weighting so that your ribbing will be able to knit smoothly. Another use for the rubber weights is with this hanger that normally comes with the rubber, and this actually hangs off the side of the knitting. So if you imagine that this is the edge of the knitting in between the two beds, you would hang this so that there's weight on the edge. It would be very difficult to get a claw weight into this area, and that's where this hanger, which people often call a 7 hanger based on its shape, becomes very handy. And the way you would use this is to hang the rubber weight off of this area down here, and it will pull on the edge of your knitting. Theoretically, you can use the small rubber weight or the large one, but we typically use the smaller weight for this area. The last thing I want to show you is the famed fork weight. This was made famous by a bond knitter, actually, and we're going to have a separate video to show you how to make these, but they're very cheap. They weigh approximately 160 grams and make a great inexpensive substitute for claw weights. The thing we really like about the fork weight is that they tend not to snag on your knitting as much as the claw weight. You can make the depth of the prongs as deep as you would like. Sometimes the narrow depth of the claw weight will cause it to fall off, whereas our fork weights won't fall off as easily. So it's up to you. You can make them as a single penny weight, or you can make them as a double. Kind of starts looking like a homemade bomb in this case, but they work very well and they're very inexpensive. So that's your summary on weights, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.